Good.
Questions for Coach?
So Charlie Oftenbaugh, does that name resonate with you?
It does. You know, when I think of that name, I think of a consistency. A guy that comes in every day, does his job. Very coachable. You know, wants it. You know, for a guy that's a walk-on that was here and had to endure everything that the program was going through. He still have a positive mindset. He still has a winning attitude. And every day he wakes up and brings it to be the best he can be.
Do you see a scholarship in his future potentially?
I hope so. You know, we are in control, but we're not. But Coach Prime does a good job as far as judging and know when someone is worthy of that type of elevation, and he's definitely deserving. You know, I don't think he's a guy once he's given that opportunity, he's he'll take a step back. You know, and it's not like giving it to him. He earns it. He deserves it. So when he earns it, it's like you can't take it back because he earned it. If you give it to him, we can take it back. But when he earned it, like he's doing it, it's his. And I think once Charlie get in that position, he would still be the same type of caliber player, the same type of caliber person. He won't take a step back. So I think it's something that should happen soon.
What's it been like working with Cavossier and Alton for the first time here?
You kind of see, Hank, you see Charlie, you see Dylan, the guy who was here in the spring. You kind of see their development. You see their process. You see where they are compared to where they were in the spring. And you kind of see Alton and Smoke in that position where they were in the spring. So when it comes to their steps, when it comes to their aiming points, just getting downhill, running the football, they're not there yet. Hank is doing very good because he's been through the process. He understands what he wants. I think it's going to take maybe another week to get Alton. I think Smoke is closer to what we're trying to get it done as far as the standard. Alton had a knee injury, so it's a lot of things, a trust factor. So we're going to continue to go through the process and get them to the point to how we want them to run the football. You know, we coach our guys as an offensive unit on the steps and how to get downhill, where to hit as far as the reads. And they got to be disciplined every play to get the play a chance. You know, we want to average 4 yards. So everything's aggressively downhill, aggressively seeking the end zone. But Alton and Smoke, they're close but not there yet. But Hank, Dylan, especially Charlie, they understand it more because they understand the language, they understand how we coach it. So we'll get those guys caught up to where they need to be.
You mentioned Alton's knee injury. Obviously, you guys probably want to be careful with that. We've seen him in a non-contact jersey. Is that something that's going to continue, or do you imagine he'll be able to go full contact at some point in camp?
We talk about it all the time, and Coach Prime wants that done right now until he gets confidence in what he's doing. But September 2nd is around the corner, and it won't be fair to him to put him in a situation a week prior to TCU to see what he can and what he cannot do. So at some point, we got to go ahead and put him through the fire and see what he's able to do. So at the same time, we got to make sure Smoke, we got to make sure Hankerson, we got to make sure Dylan, Charlie, those guys are ready if he's not. It's no question we want him to be we brought him here to be the guy. He has the experience, he has the explosive that we're looking for. He's a bigger back, but we got to get him to the point where physically he can do it. And right now it's a mindset, it's mentally. He's thinking about it, so we got to get that out of him. But to your point, at some point we got to take him off the leash and let him go.
You guys had a vision coming out spring, and then you guys turned over the roster. Can you see that vision again? I mean, can you see this team taking form? I mean, what do you think?
I think when you go through the process we went through, and we're not the first to actually do it. It's just that we have the spotlight and it's been exposed, and everybody's watching what we're doing. So that number seen, it's kind of drastic. But a lot of teams, first time coaches go through that process, and we was able to get some guys and get some talent from different places. Throughout off season, you kind of see that it was not really meshing. Everybody was trying to come in and feel what we're trying to get accomplished as far as the standard. But I think we right now we're in practice 5, and I feel it. We feel the gel. We feel the chemistry amongst the guys as far as coming together as a team, offense and defense, and also special team wise. But yes, I think we have the right guys. I think we have the right mix. We have the right mindset. So now it's a continuation of just driving in our philosophy, our core values these last couple of weeks as we approach our first game. But I think we have the right mix of guys that can play the Colorado brand of football.
How has Dylan Edwards lived up to your expectations?
He's doing a great job. Dylan, understand he's young, out of high school. It was very good to get him early in the spring to get him acclimated to the campus and college life. But there's still some maturity that he needs to develop. As far as know how to manage time. Right now he's not a student athlete. He's the athlete. It's all football. So, and he has to manage that time because now once classes start, he has to do both. So we're trying to get him to the point where he understands that as far as going through a season. Spring season, fall season, completely different. He has to be able to do both. And right now, we're trying to see the maturity in him to see if he's able to handle the things on and off the football field. Because a lot of adversity that comes his way, and he don't handle it well, he wears it on his face, and you see it on the football field. If something goes wrong, if someone hit him the wrong way, it's very confrontational, and we play fast. And I tell him all the time, you deal with that later. You get the ball in, let's get the next play on. But it's a lot of maturity that he has to develop to understand how to fight through adversity, know how to handle situations, and that's going to help him be a better person and ultimately a better football player.
How much different is his role compared to all the other running backs? Speaking about Deion.
It's different because of who he is, not because just his size. Because I don't think we have anyone on the team that can do that Deion does. He's a guy from any part of the field that can make a play, because of his speed, because his mindset, and we understand that. Is there every down back? Not right now because things that he has to do as far as protection, and constantly running in between the tackles. So we definitely got to continue to build his weight. His confidence is there. He understands the game, his assignments. That's no problem. It's just right now put him in a position where it best fits him. Situational in the backfield when it comes to maybe third down, when we might be a passing situation, or just situation where we know we're going to put the ball in his hands, draw screens or something where we're trying to make a big play. And also just flex him out at receiver, and we're cross-training him to get that done. He understands the passing game. He's talented enough to do it as far as running routes, catching the football. But he's dynamic. He's very explosive. Anytime, any part of the field, he's a problem. He's a problem for defense, and I think that's going to be recognized very early in the game. And as a defense, you got to make sure that he's accounted for in your scouting report.
Coach Deion said that he enjoyed the year with you last year.
Yeah.
And he wanted to come here because there was more that you could get out of him.
Yes.
What are you seeing out of him, and what more can you get out of him?
I think more that he can get from this program. Savion's a guy that's been around. He had a chance to go to West Virginia. He had a chance to go to Delaware State, and then he came to Jackson State. So, he moved around, and his production never fell off. At Delaware State, he was the #1 rusher in the conference. He came to Jackson State because he wanted to be a part of. He was a starter. He wanted to be a part of what we was doing. So he's a guy that chased culture. He's a guy that chased a winning environment, and he wanted to be a part of that prime era. He came in and didn't start for the first 2 or 3 games. He showed what he can do on the football field. And off the field, he was very professional, never complained. And when he got his opportunity, he never looked back. He ended up being a 1,000-yard rusher in 8 games. So he wanted to come here and be a part of what we're doing. And I think, he's going to benefit from what we have because of the person that he is. He understands he was a starter. He could have stayed at Jackson State and did great things. But he wanted to come here and chase the challenge. And we'll see. We have a lot of great backs. We have a great room. But he's not afraid to go against the challenge.
Last one for Coach.
Piggybacking off of that, you said you have a great room. You project to have a lot of guys that contribute in year one. What is your philosophy on load sharing, and how do you envision that moving forward this season?
We want 2 guys that can carry the load. We'll see who those 2 guys are. I'll tell you right now, top 4, it's definitely Alton, Smoke, Kavasier, Smoke, Dylan Edwards, and Hankerson. And Charlie is right there with those guys as well. So it's in no particular order. So what we do in practice, we change the rotation so they don't get complacent. We want the competition to continue all the way up to September 2nd. But we want the best 2 backs. If it's Alton and Smoke, if it's Smoke and Hankerson, if it's Charlie and Dylan, we want the best 2 backs that can carry the load throughout the game and give us the best chance to win. And we'll take the next 2 weeks to find out who those guys are. But the best thing is see who grade out the best as far as assignments, knowing what they supposed to do in a certain situation. They all got talent, so who's the guy that's more disciplined when it comes to their assignment?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.